Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be going through the current weekly challenge over on BugForge, which is the second iteration of the FurHire application. Um, so this challenge involved chaining a SQL injection vulnerability to find a key that was used for JWT signing, and then using that key or that secret to forge our own JWT uh, in order to get access to the application as an admin. So um, I think this one was a lot of fun. I'm going to show you the way that I did it. There's multiple ways you can do it. You can do the SQL injection manually. You can use SQL map. I prefer JWT tool for tampering with JSON web tokens. Works just as well in burp. Um, but like I said, I'm just going to show you the way that I did it. Feel free to do it however you want. The only real wrong answer is the one that doesn't work. So, um, like anything else in cybersecurity and in web application hacking, there's multiple ways to do one thing. So, let's go ahead and jump into the app here. So I've already gotten logged in. I've gotten an account registered. I'm registered as a job seeker. For those of you who did the previous FurHire challenge, this is the same thing. You can log in as a recruiter to be able to post jobs. You can log in as a job seeker to be able to look for jobs. Right now, I'm just logged in as a job seeker. And what I want to show is if I go ahead and browse jobs, and I'm going to look at this therapy cat lead, you can see up here in the URL, it seems to be uh, looking up the job by some kind of ID number. It's this 4 right here. Um, so I'll go ahead and apply to this. I'd be good for a therapy cat because I'm a cat, and I'll submit my application. Um, So now if I come over here to Kaido and look at this, find that request to the API. So um, this one right here, this get to API / job / 4. Right, and what you can see is that this is returning all of the job information to us, presumably fetching from some kind of a database. All right, so this is what I'm gonna um, work on here to see if I can get some kind of SQL injection working. I'm going to show you the manual way. In order to uh, do this in SQL map, what you want to do is you would want to take this request and you would want to put that in a file and use that with SQL map. It's just the easiest way to do it. But I'm going to do the manual way in this video. So first, I'll just send the regular request just to get myself a baseline. And then I'm going to try sending a single quote. Doesn't work. Try adding a second single quote. That still doesn't work. Let's see if I can do an order by. And the reason I would do an order by is just to try to figure out how many columns the query returns. So let's make sure this is URL encoded. Still doesn't work. Let me try getting rid of this single quote. We saw this in the last daily lab too. Okay, and that works. So um, let's, just to confirm, let's do an and 1 equals 1. and we get it. Let's try changing this to a 1 equals 2, and we don't. So now we've confirmed that we have SQL injection here. So what I want to do is I want to figure out the number of columns that the query is returning. So you can go back and do my order by, and we'll start with 1. Apply this to the editor. Okay, so with 1, I get my data back. And what you would want to do is you would want to increment this value right here, increment order by 1, order by 2, order by 3, up until you until you get an error or you don't get results. And then the last good number that you got, that is the number of columns that the query is returning. So if we just count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, my guess is 17. I don't know if there are um, columns that aren't returned in the response. Maybe. Okay, so with 17, I get the data back. With 18, apply that and send. Job not found. Maybe I miscounted. Okay, so yeah, I must have miscounted. So we're going to go with 16 columns. Okay. Now, the interesting thing with this challenge is there is some kind of check where, and let me demonstrate this. If we try to use a union select and we do the typical null, and the reason we use that is because it's generally works with, regardless of whatever data type the that particular field is built with, right? Whatever it supports, null typically works. However, in this case, there are some checks that are going to cause null to fail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if we send that, we get job not found. I'm going to try to figure out what is running here and see if that works. So that doesn't work. Let me go back here and try numbers. Since the original query was looking for a number, or it seemed to be looking for a number, as it was reading in the job ID number, and that was working. So let me try numbers here. Okay, cool. So that worked. Now I get my input reflected back in the columns here. So what I want to do is I want to pick one of these, and this is just what I typically like to do. Feel free to do it however, but I typically like to find one of these that I know is no supports a string data type. So I know the description does. Let me just check this with an A. And okay, I see that right here, my string is reflected here. So what I want to do is I want to, at this point, figure out what database I'm working with. And a common way to do that is by trying to identify the database version. So you can go through uh, different strings, different commands to try to figure out what version is in use. In this case, I did figure out that this is a SQLite database. So that works. I get a database version back 3.44.2. Cool. So now I know that this is a SQLite database. I can start trying to enumerate it a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is I want to enumerate all the tables in the database. So I'll do group concat TBL name, and then come to the end from SQLite underscore master where type equals table. Okay, and we get users, so on, so on, so on. The interesting one here, and you really have to just kind of enumerate these and spend a little bit of time if you're doing this manually to try to figure out what is interesting in each different table. In this case, the interesting one is config. Okay, so hi, buddy. My cat just jumped on my headrest. Okay, so now in the config table, I want to find the column names. So I'm going to change this to group concat name from pragma table info config, apply it, send. So I see that it's got these columns ID, key, value, and created at. So the interesting ones for us are key and value. So what I want to do is I am going to get rid of this. Let me just get rid of all of this, actually. Get rid of all this. Get rid of group concat. So I'm going to say key and value. So I got out of just using the fit column. I'm now using 4 and 5. So key and value from, I don't need that, from config. Okay, so now you see the key is JWT secret and the description is this. So this is the secret that is used for signing JWTs that are issued by the application. So let me make a note of this. Let me keep myself a little bit organized. JWT secret. Okay, so now that we've got the JWT secret, we can start looking at trying to forge our own JSON web token. And what I'm going to do is I am going to come back here, and you need the original JWT. So this is the JWT right here that I got when I logged into the application. And if we look at this, you can see, so this is using an HS256 algorithm for signing. And I've got my role as user. So I want to make note of both of those, right? So first I want to make note of what algorithm this is signed with. And I want to make note of the payload claim is role. And I'm going to have to set a different payload value. So instead of user, I want to be admin. All right, so I'm going to make a note of both of those. So it's using the HS256 algorithm. My payload claim is role, and my payload value is going to be admin. Okay, so now we can start building our forged JWT. So let me copy the full original one and come over here to my terminal. Resize this just a little bit. So what I want to, let's just look at the menu here for just a second. I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so we know that we need to do a couple of things. We need to sign our new JWT. We need to pass in the secret that the application uses, and we need to modify one of our payload claims. So let's just find these options here. Okay, so here's this TAC S flag, and that's for signing. And we need to specify the signature algorithm. So we know that the application is using HS256 right here. So we'll specify that. And this says we need to specify a secret with either a tag K or a tag P. Well, we're not using a key file. We're using a password. So we're going to end up using this tag P here with the secret that we found in the database. If we come down here, there's this TAC capital I or inject claims flag. So this is for either injecting new or modifying existing claims in your JWT payload. And if we look, the flag for specifying which claim we're trying to modify is this PC, and PV is what value we want to assign to that claim. So now we've got pretty much everything we need to be able to spoof this, or to really to create our own signed token, which is going to be completely valid because we're using the same secret that the application is. So now we just need to do JWT tool. We need to paste in the original JWT, and we need to do capital S and the HS 256 algorithm. We need to pass that the secret that we found. And we need to tamper with our payload claim to set our role. Right, so we need to do the TAC capital I, and we need to specify the payload claim is role, and the payload value is admin. Okay, that should be good. And we get our tampered token back. Let's just copy this over to our JWT analyzer, and we'll look at this here real quick. So if we decode this, so now you can see that we have the role of admin, and this is a valid signed token. So now if we come back up and I guess we can find, we'll just find that same request for the job. All right. So this is using the original token. Let's see if pasting this in still works. So we don't get an invalid token error, so that's great. And if we look, we can see, yep, we have admin role here, and we still get the data back. So now we just need to take this token and we need to get it into our application. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can, let's come back over here to the application. So first thing you can do is you can dig into the client-side source code a bit. Let's just see if there's anything here. I can just search for flag and see if there's a way to see if I can figure out how the flag is being retrieved. I don't see anything there. Hmm. You can go through here. There's I know there's some information in the source code that gives you an indicator of where the flag is being retrieved from. I'm not gonna comb through all of this right now, but if you want to go through that, you'd want to look at how the admin endpoint is retrieving the flag. But the other way, one of the other ways you can do it is you can look here in your local storage, and you can see this is where your token is stored. So if I paste in my new token into my local storage, and I also want to update this part, so I want to change that to admin. Okay, now I should be able to access the admin endpoint. Should. Okay, and we are. Okay, so another way you can do this, and I haven't fully tested this, so I'm going to do it here live in production, I guess. I'm going to log out. Let me go back here. Let me log out. And what I want to do is I want to intercept I'm going to intercept requests and responses. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to intercept the login request. And I'm going to tamper with the response to that request to put in my forged token and see if that works. Okay, so come here to login, forward that. Let me just turn this back on now that I'm here. Okay, so tester 1. Okay, so here is my post request with my login credentials. I'm going to forward that. And what I want to do is I want to replace the token that the application is sending with my tampered token. And I also want to change my role to admin. And we'll see if this works. So forward, turn queuing off. Okay, so I got an error loading dashboard and a pop-up said only recruiters can view that. So not exactly sure why, but let's see if it works. Yeah, so it still works. There's probably something that I'm doing wrong to not be able to get the full dashboard, but regardless, that's pretty much how you solve this challenge. Like I said, there's multiple different ways that you could go about a couple of these steps. SQL map is a lot faster than what I did here, but I wanted to show doing it manually. JWT tool is really kind of my go-to for any time I have to do anything with JWTs. Burp works. Kaido kind of works for JWTs. But really in terms of flexibility and just being a powerful tool, I really just prefer JWT tool. So I wanted to show that. And then obviously multiple different ways to get the flag. I could have also just gone directly to the API admin flag endpoint and gotten the flag that way, just completely from my proxy without having to deal with any of the browser stuff at all. But I just wanted to kind of play around with some of those different browser things and show you that. But yeah, so that's that challenge. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. And thank you for watching.